Hello everybody, thank you so much for being here today. If I don't sound completely normal, I have come down with the cold that was brought home from school. I tell you what, I was just thinking I'm doing so good. I'm not coming down with anything, like my immune system must just be doing awesome. And then boom, it hits me. So yep, got the sniffles right now, got a little bit of a sore throat, but a warm beverage helps so much. And I got this cute mug, this like kind of Ray Dunn-ish mug. Erica, are you watching? I got this from Walmart. So I wanted to share in this video what I actually ended up getting in the Sephora sale. It's not a ton and it's not really a full face of makeup, but I'm going to apply it for you because I just think that explains it a little bit better. Also, I will say something I have been enjoying so much, I didn't get it from Sephora. Had I been using my brain, I would have just waited and gotten this as part of the Sephora sale, but I had purchased it at Ulta like a couple weeks prior, and it's the Dry Bar 3-Day Bender Curling Iron in the 1-inch size. That is the best curling iron I have ever used, and it's not even close. Like, it holds the curl in my hair better. It's easier to use. It like the clip actually sort of turns as you're curling. Like, it's perfect. So I just wanted to shout that out. And I just have the straightest hair ever. It's actually still a little damp from my shower last night, and it doesn't love to hold curl. And typically, like, I can get more days out of my curl if I use my T3 hot rollers. Sometimes if I use the bed head bubble rollers, but rarely does a curling iron actually like sink in for me, and this does. So I've been using that on and off. Normally I'm not like up here using it, it's down in my bathroom. You know, I'll just take like 5 minutes and run it through my hair and maybe like pop in a couple of Velcro rollers with it, and I feel so much better, like just kind of going out into the day and just doing something with my hair. So I've really liked that curling iron. I just wanted to give it a shout out, even though I didn't buy it in this sale. But here's what I did buy. I'm not sure why this stuck out to me. I've never purchased any kind of like Beauty Blender coverage product before, but I got this Beauty Blender Bounce skin tint, always on radiant skin tint. It says shape before use, and I got it in light 3. And guys, I feel like this is so similar to this stuff, my L'Oreal True Match Nude. I'm gonna put it on, and they say, you know, bounce it in with the Beauty Blender. Obviously it's from the Beauty Blender brand, but I actually feel like I get better coverage if I use my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I always like getting that top part off of there because I don't like a gunky area building up. But it just feels really similar to me in terms of the weight on the skin. You know, it's very lightweight. It kind of gives me a medium coverage right off the bat. This one might feel like it has just a bit more like hydrating feel maybe. Like just a slight bit more tacky to the touch after you put it on, whereas the L'Oreal I thought went very matte very quickly and just didn't leave behind any kind of sticky texture whatsoever. I'm not saying this is super sticky at all. It's really like, as far as foundations go, it's not. But if I'm comparing the two, I feel like this might have a little more hydration in it. And like I said, I just get better coverage with this with my brush. I have tried it with the Beauty Blender, and I just think they're trying to promote their own product there by saying use it with the Beauty Blender. But I'm building up a little bit right in here and just blotting over it. This shade might be just a little lighter than what I'm wearing in the L'Oreal. But it's good. I don't really have any complaints about it. It wears pretty well on me. That being said, I haven't put it through like a super rough staying power situation, especially this time of year. I'm not like sweating, but it's really, really similar in terms of the overall coverage, the look and the feel. Like I said, maybe a bit more hydration with this one, but every time I use it, I kind of think I could have gotten away with just using this. Like, I never really needed this because I already had this, and they're so similar. But still, as far as things with skin tint in the name, I think the coverage is really quite nice. As you can see, as I turn my head, more glowy on the skin than this one. I'm going to continue on with concealer. I didn't buy a new concealer in the Sephora sale, but I'll still use Sephora items in this video and sort of chat about them anyway. So this is my Dior Forever Skin Correct, and I got it in 1N. I have really enjoyed this concealer. I heard raves about it from Emily Gemma, sorry, I'm not sure how to say her name, but she's on Instagram and she always talks about this as just a next level amazing concealer, and it is really good. It's sneakier than some of the like the Shape Tapes and the ABH concealer and stuff like that. Like just in terms of texture on the skin, it's one of the more smooth and undetectable looking concealers, but it still does have really nice coverage, so I appreciate that. But see, I'm just pressing it in. Obviously, I'm one who feels like you don't have to pay Dior money for a good concealer, because like the other day I was using my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer and thinking like, wow, this is so impressive. So like, I'm not saying you have to get this or anything, but it is a really nice concealer. And I do appreciate kind of the lightness that it has. How would it compare to the Patrick Star, the One Size Butter Silk Concealer? Honestly, really similar in texture. You know, they both have a lightness to them. I would say the One Size Concealer maybe has just a little more potent coverage, but this one really does beautifully as well, and it's so natural looking. I got a powder, you guys, that I've been wanting to try on and off for a long time. This is from Givenchy. It's the Prisme Libre powder. It says matte finish and enhanced radiance loose powder 4-in-1 harmony, and they have these in all kinds of little shade groupings. I got the original one that has like the 4 pastel shades that kind of apparently brighten and just perfect skin tone and whatnot. I just tap it into the lid and I can see I'm getting a little bit of all of them. It did come with a puff, but I find it very hard to like evenly pick up and mix the shades with a puff. As you can imagine, like you kind of just like shake the puff on there, but you end up with PC color that's not really well mixed from each shade. But like I said, you can get this one, which is kind of like for fair to really all skin tones, and then they have some deeper options from there. But I really wanted to try this as under eye setting powder and see if this did something like next level for me, you know? And I do feel like it actually has a blurring effect. I don't know that the color is really doing anything, because by the time these all mix in, the color on all these, it just looks white to the naked eye. You know, it looks like you're using a white powder. But I like what it does for texture. It seems to kind of soften up any sort of little under eye texture you might be experiencing. But like I said, from a color perspective, I don't feel like it's doing anything wild and crazy and different. It definitely mattifies. I can see that happening around the nose and the T-zone. I'm going to keep playing with it, you guys. I've only used it like a few times. I feel like it deserves more of a chance. But I'm not immediately wowed, okay? Maybe I, for some reason, just carried a really too high expectation for this product. In a way, I feel fancy using this, and in a way, I feel like Maybelline's Fit Me Loose Powder is exactly this shape and size. Okay, I'm gonna use some bronzer. This is not new. This is my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Diffused Bronze Light. One of my all-time favorite bronzers. I just feel like it's effortless, okay? You put it on, and it just does precisely what you want it to do in terms of your skin tone, and it's just easy to apply, don't have to think too hard about it, not too dark. And the finish on the skin is just beautiful. I can get a nice little light contour with it. It is truly the absolute best of the Hourglass bronzers, in my opinion. So yeah, I pulled some of this up kind of to the apple of my cheek as well, but I just think this is the world's easiest bronzer, probably. I'm not even trying, and it's all working out. I love that. I mentioned to you that I'm experimenting with the different Too Faced holiday sets. I think this is the Sephora exclusive one. It's like 2 eye palettes and a cheek palette. So the eye palettes are Christmas in Paris and Christmas in Los Angeles, and I do kind of like this global theme that they have, and then Christmas in Rome is the blush palette. Now there's another palette that Ulta is offering, and it has several blushes and an eye palette all included in like one big palette, but these are the blushes. I'm going to use one of those today. And then this is the Christmas in Los Angeles palette, and this is the Christmas in Paris palette. So both of them have kind of this pinky leaning with some of their statement shades, which I think is interesting considering they had this ability to give two, I don't know, really different looks if they wanted to. But this one goes even richer with the pink, and this has more gold involved. I've done looks with both, just one each so far, and I wasn't super wowed by them yet, but I'm still giving those a shot. I do like the blush palette. You're getting like all matte shades here with a peach, sort of a pinky rosy shade, more of a coral, and then this soft kind of neutral blush. I'm gonna pop some of this Christmas cannoli shade on for you first. It's still like you dip your brush and you get a ton of product. You're gonna see it on the skin, but I just want to put that on for you so you can tell, because I could see that being kind of the questionable one in the pack, but definitely shows up beautifully. So honestly, really impressed by that. And then let's give it a little bit of a pop. Let's do Cuter on a Scooter. little bit of this shade. I haven't tried this one yet. Really cool, kind of pinky plum. This one's like, you don't have a cold, Em. Get over it. I love a blush. I really don't mind a strong blush either. So anyway, I'm going to probably incorporate that palette into more of an overall Too Faced video coming hopefully fairly soon. And then for a highlight today, I know it's not a Sephora product, but I'm going to use my Laura Geller French Poodle anyway because I love it. Why does the camera always start going out of focus when I start putting this on? It's like it's so good we can't cope over here in the camera. Just the pearlescent quality to it. It's a soft pearl. It definitely brightens, but with very, very minimal like shimmer, no shimmer particles. It's one of the best and smartest highlights ever. She should be selling this as a single all the time. And then for my setting spray, did not buy this in the sale, but I'm just going to use some Urban Decay All Nighter. Maybe this will help with probably the touching of the face and the rubbing of the nose today. Or maybe not, I don't know. Really hard to defend against a Kleenex going beep, beep. Skin is looking radiant and lovely. Honestly, maybe the under eye could have used a little extra coverage today. I'm still seeing through to some things. I do have all new products for the eyes, but for brows, we're just gonna grab the Benefit Brow Micro Filling Pen today. I love this as far as like pen style products for the brows go. Like this is the absolute best. I know different drugstore brands have tried to put out something similar. So far, nothing that I've tried has been as good as this, but it just fills in the brows with so much ease. So much ease. And it's just the perfect pacing of product, which I'm sure is a really hard thing to make sure that the ink isn't running out of it too quick. It's just the perfect rate. And I've had this one for a long time. I've used the heck out of it, and I'm still feeling like there's a lot of freshness to the product that's in here. But I just kind of graze it over my brows. It's an angled cut, 3-pronged little applicator, and I wear it in medium brown, I believe. Yes, you can get that nice little hair-like stroke right up here. I mean, it's so quick. Now, granted, I have some brow hair there, but I think that's also saying something because, like, it could be harder for a person who has a lot of existing brow hair to use one of these brow pen products and feel like it really does a good job and gets in there, but this just does so well. And then I'm going to set that with a little Brow Fast Sculpt from Maybelline. Because one thing you're really not getting from that pen is hold. So this is going to boost up those brow hairs a little bit. And I'm shooting this on Thursday. It is Veterans Day today, so thank you, veterans, for your service. Can't say how much we appreciate what you do for our country, what you have done, and the sacrifices that your families have made. They do a really neat thing around here where we live. I believe it's the Boy Scouts. They take flags and they put them like all the way around or partially around the pond walking path that's near our house. It's absolutely beautiful because it's flag after flag after flag, and each one has a name plate of a veteran on there, so I think that's really cool. For my eyes, okay, I got this Milk Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I think they also said something about like this could be concealer primer as well, like under eye primer, but so far I've used it on the eyes and it has worked, you guys. I wouldn't say it's worked any better than my Milani, and it has more of like I was expecting more of a sticky, tacky feel with this. It actually feels really, really smooth going on, like more velvety. I would say Milani eyeshadow primer leaves me with a slightly more tacky feel than this one, and actually that one probably feels like it grabs product just a little bit more. But we have like a squeeze tube here and then a doe foot that goes down into it. So I'm definitely going to experiment with this more, like in terms of the under eye aspect, and then, you know, just priming the eyes as well and figuring out how much I'm actually getting out of this. But initially, as far as staying power goes, I feel like it's not outperforming my Milani. And then, you guys, I talked about this on Instagram that I would be getting this, and I did follow through. It's the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. Why are these palettes so dang hard to turn down? Look at this one. I gotta say, this is different than I was seeing in the pictures online. I don't know why. I kept like talking about this palette and talking about how it had pastels that were well balanced with deep shades. Well, I get it home and somebody did tell me, they commented like, you know, it doesn't look quite as pastel in person, and there is still like a lot of richness among some shades that I thought were just like super light pastels. Some of these are just like different tones of a like sparkly topper type shade. There is that oddball kind of gel color in here, which is interesting, gives kind of like a veil over different colors you might want to use. And the veil looks like sort of a iridescent pearl. There's a good matte and shimmer balance. I feel like you can kind of look at the palette two ways, sort of the more fun experimental side and then the richer neutral side. And even so, you look at these deep neutrals, a lot of these mattes are pretty cool, which may be a breath of fresh air to some people. Somebody asked if it was going to be too much like Huda's Mercury Retrograde, and I honestly don't think it is at all. This, I think, goes much more heavily on rose, cool shades. Mercury Retrograde went back into like peachy colors and golds, and even though it had some fun like kind of pops with some teal and turquoise and purples, and it had some nice really deep dark rich shades too. Sorry, my camera did not want to stay put there. I feel like there was much more warmth available in the Mercury Retrograde, and here this is really all in all very cool. So I've done one look with it so far. I really liked how it came out. I had like a glistening lid, like absolutely glistening. I think I played with both of these different shades right here and here, or maybe it was that one. Yeah, those two, like putting it on the lid. And the first thing I could think of when I put it on my lid was, you know, like TV static. TVs don't really go into this mode probably in this day and age, but like when a TV actually would get that static, constant movement, black and white static, it made me think of that. It was such a potent, shimmery effect that it made you sense like nonstop movement in the color, which is, it's just hard to explain. I want to go first today. I want to try this shade called Quartz up here. As you can see, Huda, something I like about her palettes is that she throws in stuff that we haven't seen before. Okay, so for a person really seeking variety, I think you get one of these palettes and you're like, ooh, you know, this is different for me. So I'm going to go into Quartz here, which is a marbled shade. It has some light and some like medium brown. I just want to see what that amounts to in my crease. Okay, that's pretty. So this is going to be like a soft brown crease color, whereas a lot of the other things in this palette, I mean, this is probably as warm as it gets for a crease option here. It stays really soft and probably can get even softer if you go into the lighter side of it. Not that everybody's is probably going to look identical there, but okay, so that's giving me soft brown crease. Let's use a little bit of Serenity down here. Beautiful matte, like kind of dusty purple shade. I love the texture of Huda's shadows. Like I can go into these mattes and I still feel like I'm getting nice pigmentation, but I get no powder kick up at all. So this is giving me now like a dusty mauve-y lavender type vibe, okay? And if it feels like I'm still just trying to figure out this palette, I am, because I've only used it once, so this is really new to me. I want to deepen up with a little bit of aura up here. Now this shade feels like deep brown, but that it has maybe a little mauve thrown in, like maybe a little bit of rosiness. I love this color. I think that's such a smart shade for this palette and the various light colors that are in here. So again, I've just been using the same Profusion crease brush the whole time. This is a palette where you're going to feel like playing a lot, I think, and bouncing around to a lot of different shades and seeing what it looks like to layer up different colors. I'm kind of wanting now to maybe take the soft pink. What does that look like kind of on the border? Not quite as much. Okay. Yeah, it looks like just a really cool sort of highlighter type shade. But Happiness here, I used this one the other day. I thought this was so pretty and kind of a unique color. Like, I don't know if I have a color in my collection that is that pinky of a purple. You know, when I look at it, I think lavender, but I think with the ultimate pink mixed in. And that's really pretty, like hazy kind of on the outside. I mean, that could be a great lid popping color too. It is matte, but it's super pretty on the outside of the look. So is Joy right up here, which has some shimmer. Oh, I love that shade. Now we do have kind of a deep dark shimmer in here that I played with a little bit yesterday called Empowered. It's got some like navy charcoal going on. I really want to see what Abundance does. So I'm going to grab that with my flat brush. Taupe. I'm picking up on a little purple in it as I get it on the eye. I feel like so many pinky types of palettes fall deeper into purple than this one does. So if you're not a huge purple eyeshadow fan, but you still like some of the rosiness, this is really nice. But when I talked about in that one video about what I wasn't getting, really what sets this one apart, and it proves to be very effective at it, like it has balance. It has dark shades, medium shades, light shades, so much variety. And then I was looking at like the Urban Decay one, their new Cyber palette, and just different ones that I was mentioning in that video. And it's like they didn't offer quite enough like going places for me. This one really does it all. Okay, Cosmic Love up here. How pretty does this shade look? Are you picking up on that blue kind of iridescent quality swirled with plum? I'm going to try to pick some of this up. I want to see this on like the inner lid maybe. I thought that shade was going to be a little dry, but it went on to pack on really well. I'm going to try a little bit though with my finger. Ooh, I just swirled the two together and I got some kind of unexpected darkness on there. Wow. That's cool, you guys. I really like that color. How do you guys feel about wearing like more of a pastel pop of color? Because that is giving me a pop here, but it's not in a really loud color way. To me, it feels really wearable and just kind of fun. But I want to do one more kind of a pop layer on the lid with Moon Magic. I want to play with that shade a bit more. But first, I want to deepen up. I'm going to use a little bit of this shade called Mantra out here. Just our matte kind of stone color. Definitely not a full-on black, really deep dark gray. Love the way that's blending in with those more rosy tones in the crease. There's just kind of an airy sort of mystical vibe to this palette. Some really interesting kind of multi-dimensional things happening. And now a little bit of Moon Magic right here. This does feel light and potentially dusty as you put your finger in, but let's see. Oh wow, I probably got more on my finger than I needed. Oh wow. Sometimes it looks more bluish, sometimes it looks more pinky, just depending on how I turn my head. This was the shade that looked like the TV static, that one up there. This looks like, I don't know. So I guess what I'm showing is you can go bold with this. You can go very intense. I'm wanting to take a little smudge brush with Aura and just get a little bit of that on my lower lash line. Okay, so Rose Quartz, fun. It gives me that same kind of like fun feeling that I got with Mercury Retrograde, only more cool overall. Great balance of light, medium, and dark. Great balance of matte and shimmer. Some shimmers that I have not even like experienced yet with this shade down here called Self Love. I haven't done a lot with the little jelly kind of shade that's in there, but so far I am having a lot of fun with that. And like I said about other palettes, I'm not opposed to pastel, but I do want a palette that has some of this lightness going on to have enough depth to balance it out. So anyway, this is my one size liner pen going over the top of this with no problem at all. Still looking black as can be. Now I did get, I got some fallout. I don't know who was responsible for that. Probably when I was patting it on my lid, I think I got some fallout from that, but it's dusting away easily. And I'm going light in my lower inner rim with my ABH double-ended pencil, the matte end. I can use all the wakefulness I can get. And then, my friends, I got a new mascara. I just felt like experimenting with the new one, so I ordered what looked like had amazing reviews and ratings, and a lot of them. And it is the Patrick Ta Major Volume Mascara. And I wore this yesterday and I thought it did tremendously well. I was so surprised and so impressed. We're looking at a really like traditional seeming brush here. See how if you turn it one way it looks a little more flat, and then you can see the length. It builds amazingly well for length, and it just grabs each lash as I go in initially. It seems to want to hold the curl. It does not dry incredibly fast, so that's what kind of surprises me about how it seems to be holding the curl so well. I have not tried it on my lower lashes yet. This is only day 2 with this stuff. I think with this one, the length is really what... Oh gosh, come on, Em. Got it off, but it's looking just a little dingy there. I'll go over that with a little concealer. You should have seen me first thing when I got up. I dropped a contact on the little rug. Took me a good few minutes to find that. I'm really trying to concentrate now and not like screw up again. But I really like the length with this mascara. I do. There's a little more wetness in the formula compared to Superhero. I think that's only going to make me love this more with time as some of that kind of works out of it. But it builds so well. Actually, so it doesn't look too heavy. Maybe I'll just take a little bit of the foundation and just dab over this. Yeah, that'll work. And then I'm going to take to the bottom lashes with a little bit of Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions just because it does not smudge. Patrick Ta might not either, but I'm not ready for that yet. I'm probably going to have some sneezy, watery eye moments today, so let's just give us our best shot. I'm just feeling kind of like a fairy princess here with this eye color on, this eyeshadow. And then for lips, I did not buy any new lip product in the sale, but I feel like what would look gorgeous with this look would be my little Pat McGrath Divine Rose lip trio, and I love this. This is one of my favorite lip things that I've gotten from Sephora recently. So you get the Divine Rose. This is the Matte Trance lipstick. So I'm going to put this on first. Beautiful color and texture. As you can see, it really has a little more warmth to it. And then we've got the lip liner that is just a little bit deeper. So this is how I like to apply it best, is to get the lipstick on and then neaten up with the lip liner. Give yourself an added challenge by talking while you apply the lip liner. Test your skills. So there's that. And then, baby, we're going to layer it up with the gloss. I love the Pat McGrath glosses. So what do we think about this look, you guys? What do we think about the haul? I'll take my little clips out. Gosh, I feel like the complexion looks great, even though I wasn't absolutely like enamored by everything that I put on. I explained how I thought I could probably pass on this and just go for the L'Oreal one because I just feel like they're very similar actually. In terms of other new stuff on my face, this powder so far is going in the just okay for me category. Like I'm gonna keep playing with it, but I'm not immediately taken by storm by that Givenchy powder. The blushes in the Too Faced set are certainly wonderful, but I'm not completely swooning over the whole thing. Sorry, it seems like I'm like super hard to please. I'm not really. I'm ready to get excited and get happy about all these different things, but it's just like, it's not quite taking me there, and I need to be honest because people are spending their hard-earned money on things that, you know, may or may not be worth it. I'm gonna keep playing with this eye primer slash, you know, trying it as an under eye prep step as well, but my favorite two things really that I got are the Rose Quartz palette. So much versatility, so much fun. If you're an eyeshadow lover, if you're a cool shadow lover, I think you might enjoy that, and the Patrick Ta mascara, I'm really impressed by that actually. I didn't buy that Pat McGrath lip trio in this haul, but I do love that. Oh, one more thing I did order. I mentioned the Dry Bar curling iron and loving that so much. I got this Hot Shots duo here for $25. They give you the Hot Toddy Heat Protectant Mist along with the Prep and Prime, or Prime and Prep Detangler. So I thought that might be useful for me. I haven't used them yet, but I'll be reporting back. But yeah, my friends, let me know in the comments section, what did you get from the sale? Were there any duds? Were there any big hits? I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for your time. I hope anybody else out there dealing with the cold gets better soon, and I will see you very, very soon. I love you. Bye.